Oh, oh, the shower here. The shower here looks like something out of Silence of the Lambs. I can't get over the shower. I've been here in Marrakesh for over 3 months now. I arrived on February 18th, and originally I planned to stay for only about 8 weeks, but then about 3 weeks into being here is when the entire world went into lockdown. In early March, as COVID-19 spread out of control, countries around the world began to go into quarantine. Within a matter of days, the chaotic hustle and bustle of this popular tourist destination fell silent. The entire city of Marrakesh was abandoned by over 99% of the tourists. So this is the main market square in Marrakesh. You can see how vacant it is here. It's of course been like this for now just over 2 months. This place usually has just vendors everywhere, but of course due to the quarantine, it is pretty empty right now. So I decided to stay here in Morocco, and I feel like that was the right choice. If I had gone back to the United States, I would be dealing right now with the unemployment issue that millions of Americans are dealing with right now. So I think it was the right choice to stay here in Morocco rather than go back to the US. In late June, after 3.5 months of quarantine, Morocco began to lift the restrictions of the countrywide lockdown. Now, just about a little over a week ago, there was no traffic on these streets. As you can see right now, there's still not a ton of traffic. This is still just a fraction of what the traffic normally is when quarantine isn't in place. Normally before quarantine started, there was just so much traffic, it was almost deafening. I crossed over to the other side of the street because coming up here just right at the intersection up here is where they've had the police checkpoint that they've had set up throughout quarantine, where they stop traffic and stop pedestrians to make sure that people have the proper paperwork that permits them to be outside during the quarantine. I have not been able to get this paper. Early on at the beginning, that was a little bit of a problem. They would stop me and ask me for my paper, and I would simply tell them in English that I don't have a paper, that I couldn't get a paper, and eventually they'd be like, oh, okay, and just let me go. As you can see, they've really lightened up on the restrictions. Just a week ago, they would stop every pedestrian and every car and make sure that they had the proper paperwork. Now you can see they aren't even stopping traffic. They're trying to get life going back to normal around here. By the looks of it, the majority of the shops are now open again. As shops began to reopen, I had the opportunity to talk with a local vendor about the economical impact that the pandemic has had on him and how the loss in tourism revenue has affected his way of life.
وما السياحة راه ما كايناش داكشي كاع.
He said before, yes, tourism is like good for him because a lot of tourism they bought something from him. But still now, like people who are stuck in Morocco, in Marrakesh, like you for example, they buy they buy from him. They buy from him. He just started and then coronavirus came and the quarantine started, so he has a shop of spices. He sells spices, the Moroccan spices.
Okay.
But now it's closed.
Uh-huh.
He changed it to sell vegetables. But this shop actually is not a shop to sell vegetables. It's his father's shop to sell food, fast food. But it's closed because of quarantine. But now he turned it to a shop to sell vegetables. So life for him now is harder because people do not buy a lot and they just like negotiate and negotiate because people have little money. They don't have much money to spend.
Okay. As you can see, things have not yet gone back to normal. They have not yet come fully out of quarantine yet. Over the following weeks, my living situation went to hell after the owner of my hostel moved his remaining employees into the hostel with me. Most of them were really nice guys, but they were so negligent and unsanitary that I ended up catching food poisoning from their lack of responsibility. At that point, I decided that I needed to get out. Hi, I'm Jake. I want to keep bringing you new and better quality episodes of The Wild and Beyond, and in order to do so, I need your help. Please go to patreon.com/thewildandbeyond or click on the link in the description below to see all of the ways in which you can help support the creation of this channel. Thank you.
It's 5 in the morning on February, this isn't February. It's this month, July. It's 5 in the morning on July 18th, and I'm at the train station here in Marrakesh. And after being stuck here for 5 entire months, I am finally on my way to Spain. I'm going to stop in Fez for at least a couple nights, maybe up to a week or so. And then after Fez, I'll head to Tangier. And then I'm going to make an attempt to take a ferry from Tangier over to Spain. And then that will be the beginning of a year backpacking throughout Europe. So we'll see how that goes. It's 5:45 on July 18th, and I've just boarded the train. We're going to be departing here in about 10 minutes, and this is the first ever long-distance passenger train I've ever been on. So I'm pretty excited for this. It's kind of an interesting and new experience for me. So it's now 20 minutes after departure time, and we are still at the station in Marrakesh. I have no idea what's going on. All of the announcements are in French and in Arabic, and I speak neither of those. So, yeah, this is working out well. I think we might be going soon. I have no idea. Oh, yes. And we're moving. Hey, success.
After being stuck in Marrakesh for how long? 5 months. I was going to say 50 days, but it's been way longer than 50 days. After being stuck in Marrakesh for 5 whole months, I have finally made it to Fez. I don't know if it's hotter here or if it's hotter in Marrakesh, but it's hot here and it's hot in Marrakesh. Now I'm walking through this very old little cemetery, and there's not even walking paths here. It's literally just grave plots just jammed as tightly together as possible with almost no room, and in a lot of places literally no room to walk without walking on top of the grave sites. Many of these graves are so old that they're actually caved in. But yeah, so anyway, so I finally made it to Fez today. All of the hostels are shut down. They are not allowed to bring in new guests. And so I came here without being able to pre-book anywhere to stay. And I couldn't find anything when I got here. Asked around a little bit and they told me the same thing, that none of the hostels were open and that nobody is allowed to take in anyone new. I heard that travelers in need of a place to stay, the best thing for them to do is to go to the police and ask them for help. So that's what I did. I found the local police station, went to the police and asked them if they could help me find a place to stay. And luckily they did. And so I've got a place to stay, a hotel. I don't know how nice it is yet. I haven't actually gotten a chance to check in yet. So yeah, so they're putting me there for 3 nights, and so that'll give me 3 days to figure out what to do next. And then I'll stay in Tangier for a little bit, and then figure out the whole ferry situation and cross from Tangier over into Spain. And so on and so on. I've got another hour before I can check into my hotel room. I'm going to explore this cemetery a little more, and then maybe go explore the Medina a little bit around my hotel. And then I'll check in and get out of the sun and definitely get something to drink and see how much I can enjoy Fez for a few days.
All right, so after a nice long walk through the cemetery today, I'm now checked in and settled in my hostel here in Fez. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad that I'm not paying more than 50 dirham a night. This is supposed to be no less than a 200 dirham a night hotel, so I'm actually kind of surprised that this place isn't nicer. But I'm not complaining, definitely not complaining, considering I'm paying 1/4 of what I should be. The shower though. Oh, the shower here. The shower here looks like something out of Silence of the Lambs. I can't get over the shower. My 3 days in Fez unfortunately turned out to be an absolutely miserable experience. On my last night, this guy even intentionally ran over my foot with his cart while swearing at me in Arabic, despite having plenty of space to go around me. The next morning, I took the first bus out of Fez to make my way to Chefchaouen. And Chefchaouen would soon show me a much brighter experience.